To Breaking Ground, and a very good afternoon. I'm Siddharth Talia, and we are minutely, of course, following the investigations conducted by the Delhi police into the brutal murder of Shraddha Walker by Aftab Poonawala. Now, the Delhi police have moved court to conduct a narco test on Aftab Poonawala, who's been accused of conducting, in fact, the horrible murder of Shraddha Walker. Now, depending on the court order, the said test will be conducted, but why a lie detector test is the need of the hour in this case is something that many are, in fact, asking. And let's, in fact, find out as to why a narco analysis might be necessary in this specific case. Right. So one of the reasons why the narco analysis could be in fact required in this is because on several occasions it's come to light that Aftab has tried to mislead the police, and therefore to establish as to whether or not the investigations are on the right track, such a test might be required. Another reason is to actually present constructive evidence in court. Now, the narco analysis in and of itself is not admissible as evidence, but it could provide a certain lead to the ongoing investigation. Right, so that's another reason. The police have already, in fact, contradicted several narratives that have been put forth by Aftab in this particular case. That's another reason as to why a narco analysis might be necessary. Let's, in fact, go across to my colleague Pranesh for more on as to why the police might be moving court now to press for a narco analysis of Aftab Poonawala.
Let's take the breaking news, Siddharth, because this is a Times Now super exclusively only channel with the narco tapes. The Delhi police is saying that Aftab, the alleged killer, is now misleading them, lying constantly, which is why the police have now petitioned the court demanding a narco analysis test. Now, the only narco test tape that India remembers is what Safdar Nagori had undergone. And if I remember correctly, the year is 2017. Times Now was the channel that broke the Safdar Nagori tapes, and now, while the Shraddha probe is underway, we are revisiting the Safdar Nagori tapes. Let's put them here. Here it is, the Safdar Nagori tapes. This is the former Simi chief, the Simi mastermind, and look at him. He's on the hospital bed. He was given the solution, which is called the truth serum, after which the patient goes into a semi-conscious state and he begins to tell the truth, or such is the theory that the truth comes out. Let's play out the tape in entirety now.
Right, so the Safdar Nagori tapes, we'll just wait for that particular tape to be in fact played out. But Pranesh, the reference clearly is to the Samjhauta blasts and the investigations into it, in which of course Safdar Nagori was one of the accused. Let's in fact listen into that tape once again.
वो टाइम पे तो मैं फिर बाद में जो है ना मुझे रास्ते घूमे में बहुत सारे हो गए। ट्रेन ब्लैक ना, ट्रेन ब्लैक जो पक था तो वो टाइम पे मैं उठे ट्रेन में बोला था सदर साहब, तो सदर साहब हाँ, उनका नाम बंगाल वाले हैं, हाँ? बंगाल वाले हाँ हाँ, वो मुझसे मिलने के लिए आए थे। हाँ, तो उसमें ये सब और वही जो था ना, हाँ, वो जेल में था। हाँ? जेल में कमरुद्दीन के बाद दिन था, ऐसा ब्लास्ट हो गया। शाम ने मुझसे डिस्कस किया, शाम ने मुझसे डिस्कस करता था ना, शाम मुझको बोलता था कि हमको कुछ ज़्यादा करना चाहिए, कुछ बड़ा करना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए। आपको मालूम था ना इस ब्लास्ट के बारे में? जी हाँ जी। तो शाम ने मुझे लेटर लिखा था, जेल से लिखा था ना? हाँ, तो शाम ने मुझे जेल से लेटर लिखा था, उसमें उसने सेंटेंस लिखा था कि मैं आपसे माफ़ी चाहता हूँ। शाम ने इस चीज़ के लिए माफ़ी मांगी हो, तो मैंने सोचा कि हो सकता है कि एहतशाम ने इस चीज़ की माफ़ी मांगी हो, तो श्योर है कि एहतशाम जो है उसमें
Well, this is a big development now. The Saket court, where the Delhi police has filed an application, has accepted the plea on the part of the Delhi police to administer a narco analysis test on Aftab Poonawala. This is very significant. Remember, this could provide the Delhi police possibly with some very crucial leads as to how to proceed with the investigation into this particular matter. This is a breaking development that Times Now is now bringing to you, where the Saket court has now accepted the narco test plea on the part of the police. They had filed an application on Saturday and then because Aftab had not been disclosing the location of the saw that was actually used to mutilate the body of Shraddha, and also in fact had misplaced her mobile phone. So these are some of the very important updates coming from the Saket court. We're being joined right now by Sabyasachi, Nukul as well as Priyank. And let me go across immediately to Priyank Tripathi. Priyank, this is a very significant development coming from the Saket court, though it must also be clarified that narco analysis in and of itself may not be admissible as evidence.
Yes, Siddharth, you're absolutely right, but the accused is yet to give his consent because this development happened when the Delhi police had moved this application soon after the arrest of the accused, because they knew that Aftab has been lying. This is a case which has come to a point where the police only has circumstantial evidences, and the narco test analysis will also be another part of the circumstantial evidence. So certainly it's a roadblock ahead for the Delhi police where they are trying their level best to gather some sort of evidence which can corroborate to the crime which has been done by the accused. The update which we have in the breaking is that the accused is yet to give his consent for the narco analysis test. This is a test, Siddharth, which is certainly not admissible before the court, but this can certainly give a direction to the police officials, because the time of the murder, the date of the murder, the circumstantial evidences against the accused, the circumstances under which he killed Shraddha, everything has been on a dicey plate, because the accused is certainly not revealing the clear truth before the police officials. If you remember, when he was questioned by the Maharashtra police, he did not disclose anything regarding the death of Shraddha or murder of Shraddha. So he managed to, befool the police officials probably who, interrogated him. This is what we have got to know from the father of Shraddha, that his questioning was carried out when the father had given a complaint regarding missing Shraddha. But this particular delay has caused so much of loss to the evidence gathering process that only 12 to 13 pieces of the bone of Shraddha, which is also an alleged piece of bone, I would say, because the DNA sample reports are still awaited. So in the meanwhile, the Delhi police want to go ahead with the narco analysis test, because we are talking about a suspect who's well-read, well-trained. He has self-motivated himself from working on various information which was coming out on social media platform or on the internet. He fell in love with another, or probably did a drama of falling in love with another girl who was also a psychiatrist, who came to his residence soon after the murder of Shraddha. They both had a party. So with the help of that girl also, it is quite possible that he could have managed to gather some information so that he can hide the information he was concealing inside his heart and brain. And so these are the information which are crucial for the police officials to piece together the evidence. For that, the Delhi police had moved the application. Times Now was the first channel, Siddharth, which broke the information that the Delhi police has moved to the court. Now we have got to know.
Let me also get a perspective in from Nukul, who's actually at the Mehroli forest area where a lot of the body parts were known to have been disposed of. Nukul, the plea for a narco analysis test has been accepted, but Aftab Poonawala still needs to give his consent. But at the heart of all of this is, of course, actually trying to find out where all those body parts have in fact been disposed of, because their recovery would be necessary for the investigations to proceed.
Absolutely, Siddharth, and as Priyank was also mentioning, how it would be possible that police believes that the Aftab is particularly misleading the police in this particular matter. That is why they have moved to the Saket court. Let me also just give you a sense of this particular area where we are reporting from. We are at the Mehroli forest. You can see behind me, this is a particular water body which is also here. So all the more is difficult for the police to collect the evidence. Now police have been searching here in the entire premises and the area adjoining to this particular place where the Mehroli forest is. Yesterday Aftab was also being accompanied by the police. You can see in these particular visuals how difficult and challenging for the police is to find the traces, and at this time it becomes very important to conduct a narco test, as Priyank was also mentioning that the consent from the accused is yet to come, but for the police this particular move is very important. As you know, as you have rightly mentioned, that the evidences are yet to be collected. Now there are many challenges in front of the police to find out the evidences. You know, as we all know, that this particular area, Mehroli forest, where police have been tracing the evidences. Yesterday as well, they had carried out some searches. What we are given to understand is that dog squads are also being used to find the traces. Now the skull is yet to be traced by the Delhi police. So these are the evidences which are yet to be collected and traced by the Delhi police, who are conducting searches at the Mehroli forest and the places around where Aftab had yesterday was also being accompanied by the police. Remember, the weapon which was also used, it is also be crucial for the police, right, where the weapon could be buried, because Aftab had in his confession had stated that it was buried here in the Mehroli forest, but it is yet to be found. So all these things pertaining to this particular matter and in the wake of these events, it is important for the police to also conduct narco tests. As we all also rightly mentioned, Priyank was also mentioning how he could be misleading the police in this particular investigation.
Let me, Nicole, in fact, take that across to Sabyasachi as well. Sabyasachi, serious questions being raised about the testimony that has already been provided by Aftab, with a lot of skepticism and the sense that he's being extremely economical here with the truth.
Well, absolutely. See, Aftab's statement has been completely misleading, and at times he's been not telling the entire truth. And that is the reason why the Delhi police wanted the narco test to take place, and now they have got consent from the court, whereas they are yet to receive the consent from Aftab. But the Delhi police in a couple of days will also be conducting the psychoanalysis of Aftab as well. In this analysis, it will help them to understand Aftab's mindset and the nature of brutal crime that he committed, and also to understand the relationship between Aftab and Shraddha. So this particular psychoanalysis will also be crucial for the Delhi police, because it will be evident and help Delhi police with the evidence that they have got.
Absolutely. Like Sabyasachi, let's in fact get a perspective in from a couple of guests who are joining us. Mr. T.R. Kakkad, the former Delhi police commissioner, and also Dr. Dinesh Rao, a forensic expert as well. Mr. Kakkad, coming to you first. How critical, if at all, is the narco analysis in this kind of a scenario? Now, according to Supreme Court precedent from 2010, it is not admissible as evidence and it cannot be forcibly conducted on a certain accused. But do you believe, in the current context, in this specific case, it would be extremely important to conduct the narco analysis to at least get a certain direction as far as the investigations go?
Look, this particular gruesome murder has been committed with meticulous care and caution. The suspect has used all the angles that would not give a clue to the police as to how the things were done. But please remember that there is never a perfect murder. Always something is left behind by the accused. Now, in this case, the police has made a lot of progress and has been able to connect the dots, starting from Bombay to Paharganj to Chhatarpur, and his getting the weapon of murder. Now that has to be connected. The bags to dispose of, the body parts, the fridge, 300 liters fridge, which normally two people don't need it, you know. And there's not even adequate space there, but this was definitely with some purpose. Now,
Right.
all this and the body parts that have been recovered will ultimately be, if possible, God willing, these will match with the DNA of the father or
Right.
father. And now this particular narco test that you're talking of, it is evidence is not admissible, but once the information comes through a narcotic test, it can be used for corroboration of various other things,
Absolutely.
or to look for many more things which he was hiding so far.
Absolutely.
So
I
it
take
may
that
not
across, Mr. Kakkar, to Mr. Dinesh Rao as well, forensic expert. But before that, here's an interaction with a senior official of the Palghar police, interviewed by our correspondent Shivani. Remember, the first complaint in this matter was filed in Palghar by the father of Shraddha Walker.
श्रद्धा हत्याकांड फिलहाल सुर्खियों में है, इस वजह से भी क्योंकि इस पूरे केस का पहलू पुलिस जांच के आधार पर है। 5 महीने बाद केस रजिस्टर होता है और अब उसके अंदर मॉनिटरी ट्रेल के साथ साथ कई और साजिशें और कितने लोग शामिल हैं नहीं है, इसके सवाल मौजूद हैं। संपतराव पाटिल जी मौजूद हैं हमारे साथ। सर, आपने केस रजिस्टर किया है, पूरी तरह से इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जांच की। अगर थोड़ा सा मुझे स्टेजेस एक्सप्लेन कर पाएं कि आखिर मामला आपके सामने कब आया, आपने जांच कब शुरू की, पहला स्टेटमेंट किस तारीख पर रिकॉर्ड हो?
इनिशियली जो श्रद्धा के पिताजी है
जी,
वो 6 तारीख के हमारे पास उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन दिया था, अर्जी दिया था। वो अर्जी के तौर पर उनके पिताजी का जो लड़की का पिताजी उनके बयान दर्ज करके हमने सू मोटो मिसिंग दाखिल किया था। उसके बाद में जो मिसिंग का इन्वेस्टिगेशन है वो हमारे स्पेशल ब्रांच के ऑफिसर है एपी सानप, उनको मैंने दे दिया था और उन्होंने पिताजी का स्टेटमेंट वापस पूछताछ किया था। उसके बाद में जो लड़की मिसिंग उसका मोबाइल डिटेल्स, जो आफ्ताब लड़का उसका मोबाइल डिटेल्स, बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स, उसका बचपन का जो दोस्त है लक्ष्मण नाडर उसके स्टेटमेंट, ये सब रिकॉर्ड किया था और उसका पूरा स्टडी करके हमें ऐसा लगा कि जो लड़की और ये आफ्ताब कम से कम 2.5 साल से साथ में रहते और वो लड़की अचानक मई महीने से मिसिंग है, उसका मोबाइल बंद है, उसका फेसबुक अकाउंट व्हाट्सएप अकाउंट बंद है। तो हिसाब से हमने वो लड़के को भी 1 बार बुलाया था, 2 बार बुलाया था, उसका भी स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड किया था। उसका जो पूछताछ, उसका स्टेटमेंट, लक्ष्मण का स्टेटमेंट, मोबाइल डिटेल्स, जो भी सब स्टडी किया था, हमें लगा कि ये किधर ना किधर वो लड़के का कुछ ना किधर घातपात हो सकता है, ऐसा में डाउट आया था।
आफ्ताब के पिताजी का भी आप लोगों ने स्टेटमेंट यहाँ पर रिकॉर्ड किया था, उसमें क्या जानकारी
को बुलाया था लेकिन उसका स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया था, हमने उसको बुलाया था।
उनको पता ही जानकारी थी कि गलत है,
इसके बारे में कुछ जानकारी नहीं थी।
सर, ये भी जानूंगी मैं कि 6 तारीख को मामला आपके सामने आता है, 12 तारीख को केस रजिस्टर होता है, 26 तारीख का वक्त होता है कि जब यहाँ पुलिस थाने में आफ्ताब का स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड किया जाता है। और अब फिलहाल ये भी खबर आ रही है कि 54,000 रुपए जो हैं वो ट्रांजैक्शन ऑनलाइन के जरिए भी हुए हैं, एटीएम कार्ड भी यूज किया गया है। तो ये मॉनिटरी ट्रेल क्या है, यहाँ पर आपका शक कैसे गहराया?
हमने बैंक डिटेल्स निकाला है लड़की का, लेकिन उसमें ऐसा है कि 18 मई को एक बार 50,000 एक बार 4,000 ऐसा 2 बार ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है।
और इसमें आप लोगों ने ट्राई किया कि ये कब हुआ, क्योंकि उस वक्त तो बताया जा रहा था कि फोन भी लड़की का स्विच ऑफ था, बातचीत नहीं थी। आफ्ताब का पहला स्टेटमेंट यही कहता है।
हाँ, फोन तो बंद था उसका, मैंने फोन बंद दिया है, लेकिन बैंक डिटेल जो है उसमें दिखा रहा है ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है करके।
ओके सर, ये भी एक सवाल हमारा साफ तौर पर है, क्योंकि पुलिस आपकी जो है पालघर की, उसके जांच के दायरे पर दिल्ली की पुलिस का जांच का दायरा जो है वो आगे एक्सपांड हो रहा है। प्राइमरी रिपोर्ट आप ही लोगों की है, तो क्या ये नहीं कहना गलत होगा कि कहीं ना कहीं अगर हमने थोड़ी और तेजी रखी होती, क्योंकि फिलहाल आफ्ताब की जो फैमिली है वो मिसिंग बताई जा रही है, अनट्रेसेबल बताई जा रही है?
उसमें हमने तो तेजी से किया है। देखो, एक तो लड़के के पिताजी ने दिल्ली जाकर कंप्लेंट देना चाहिए था, हमारे पास अर्जी दी, हमने सू मोटो मिसिंग दाखिल किया। मिसिंग का जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन हमने प्रॉपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया था और हमें किधर ना किधर डाउट लग रहा था कि वह जब मोबाइल अगर मोबाइल बंद है, अकाउंट बंद है, लड़की का खो गया, लड़की है बचपन के दोस्त से हमेशा कॉन्टैक्ट, लड़की कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं कर रही है, तो वो हिसाब से हमने जब भी हमें डाउट लगा तो हमें तुरंत हमने जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन ट्रांसफर किया था, बल्कि हमारा ऑफिसर खुद, हमारा जो स्पेशल ऑफिसर है, हमारा टीम स्पेशल भेज दिया था। वहाँ जाके भी हमारे ऑफिसर ने उधर मोबाइल डिटेल्स और उसका एड्रेस के बारे में वेरिफिकेशन करके वहाँ के सीनियर ऑफिसर को ब्रीफ किया था और उसकी लोकल पुलिस वहाँ की और अपना महाराष्ट्र पुलिस, दोनों पुलिस ज्वाइंटली उधर जाके वो एड्रेस पे जाके वेरीफाई करके लड़के को वहाँ से लेके आई और वो पूछताछ भी ज्वाइंटली किया है।
बिल्कुल,
तभी जाके वो पिताजी को बॉम्बे से बुला के उसका एफआईआर दर्ज किया और उसमें आगे इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं वो लोग।
ओके सर, एक मैं आखिरी सवाल आपसे लेना चाहूंगी कि यहाँ पर जब सवाल उठ रहे हैं फिलहाल थोड़ी बहुत जांच पर भी दिल्ली में भी, क्योंकि हमने देखा कि अब जाकर कंफर्म हो पाया कि जो रीढ़ की हड्डियां मिली है वो उसी मृतक लड़की की है। और फिलहाल यहाँ पर ये सवाल है कि जब लड़के का परिवार वसई में ही था, एक हफ्ते पहले भी उसके पिताजी सोसाइटी के कुछ मेंबर्स को मिले हैं जो हम लोगों से बातचीत हुई है, तो वो अब अनट्रेसेबल कैसे हो गए? क्या पूरी अरेस्ट के बाद पुलिस ने जांच की या परिवार के ऊपर नजर रखने की कोशिश की?
नहीं, उसके बारे में ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता है, क्योंकि जब भी हमने बुलाया तब लड़का जो आफ्ताब था उसका पिताजी आए थे। अभी उसके बाद में अभी 4-5 दिन से लोग बोल रहे गए, लेकिन उसके बारे में मैं नहीं बोल सकता, क्योंकि ऐसा कुछ नहीं लगता है मुझे।
आप लोग मतलब ट्रैक करने की कोशिश करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे?
अगर दिल्ली पुलिस की जरूरत पड़े तो हम उनको सहयोग करेंगे।
ठीक है, इसमें आगे अगर मैं समझना चाहूँ कि आपके पुलिस दायरे में कुछ और बचता है जांच करने के लिए, क्योंकि कई सारे दोस्त हैं अब सामने आ रहे हैं, स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं, आप लोगों ने भी कई लोगों का स्टेटमेंट दिया। सस्पिशियस कब हुआ ये पूरा मामला?
सस्पिशियस इस बात के लिए हुआ कि ये अक्टूबर 2019 से वो रहते थे, लिव एंड रिलेशन दोनों रहते थे। कम से कम 2.5 साल लिव एंड रिलेशन रहते थे। बाद में वो नॉर्थ में चले गए, और जो उनका खास बचपन का दोस्त था वो लड़की का लक्ष्मण नाडर, उससे लड़की हमेशा बातचीत करती थी। मई महीने से उसका बाद में कभी कांटेक्ट नहीं हुआ, और जो एनालिसिस किया उसमें भी उसका कांटेक्ट किधर हुआ नहीं, और वो मोबाइल बंद था, तभी तो हमें डाउट हुआ था।
सर, आपको नहीं लगता, एक ये मेरा एज अ रिपोर्टर सवाल है आपसे, कि आपको ऐसा नहीं लगा कि जब आप लोगों को शक हुआ तो आप ही लोगों को आफ्ताब को ट्रेस कर लेना चाहिए था, अरेस्ट कर लेना चाहिए था? पूरी कर्टसी अब